We are live. We are live. We are go.
It's a go, Houston.
It is like
All right,
Thunderbirds.
like Thunderbird. Hang on a second. Wasn't there news about Thunderbirds at some point that was going to come make a comeback? Or maybe
Uh,
I'm just talking shit.
yeah, I think you are. Yeah, I think there
Okay,
was.
yeah. I usually do talk a lot of shit, especially on this show. Talking about
Uh-huh.
show, thanks for downloading episode 258,
Mhm.
Deval.
258. Come on, you know this is great.
So thanks for downloading this episode, folks. So in your ears right now, you've got for the next 45 to 50 minutes, possibly even
Mhm.
an hour, Deval and I talking movies, talking streaming, talking trailers,
Mhm.
talking what else are we talking? Talking what?
News. We got lots of
Talking
news.
news.
Anniversary
Uh,
corner. We
yeah,
got it
that is it.
all.
We got it. Find us. Where can people find us, Deval?
Yeah, we can find us on X. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us if you look around the corner and just look over the bushes. You'll see us just there.
Yeah, all those places. Go check us out. But listen, before the show, let's do the shout outs, Deval.
Yeah, quick couple of shout outs this week. And this week, first shout out goes to Zakharov. Zakharov, what's up? How you doing? What's going on?
Yeah.
We need to get you on the show soon.
Oh
We
man.
missed you last time because of technical difficulties,
Yeah.
and it is now September. So there's some good films coming out. I know you love your films, so let us know when you're free. Let's do this. Yeah, let's do
Let's do an
this.
Exodus. Come for the what is it? Exodus next week?
Exorcist is next week. Yeah, if you're around next week, that would be good. We haven't heard from Zach
No.
Ruff in a while. I know he's a busy
Yeah,
guy, so just reaching out to say hi as well, just to see how you're
of
doing, man.
course.
Yeah, hope you're good, Zakharov. Next shout out, two shout outs this week actually. For the month of September, there were a couple of birthdays, and forgive
Mm,
us, we didn't mention one early enough, and it's a crime that we didn't. You know that
I know,
it's a
man.
crime that we didn't because the first birthday shout out goes to Ciel Noir 3, and it was early in the month. She had a great
Damn.
birthday. I know she did, and she doesn't get older; she gets younger.
Younger.
Exactly. So, and wiser and more experienced and more positive. She ages with positivity
I know,
and just
man.
good vibes.
It's
Good
mad.
vibes person. So go check out her page, Ciel Noir 3 on Instagram and all the rest of it as well. And the
Brilliant.
next shout out goes to Don't Cry, Don't Beg. That's a wicked name, you know, on
That is
Instagram. Don't cry,
mad.
don't beg. In other
Beg.
words, get on with it. Get
Yeah,
on with
yeah,
it. Do you know what I
yeah.
mean? Don't
Don't make a
cry,
fool
don't
of
beg.
yourself. Just get on with it.
Exactly. It's a big birthday shout out to you as well. Don't cry, don't beg. And that's it for this week. Yeah.
That is it for this week. I love it. So listen, if you want to beat a
Oh,
shout out on the
man.
show, get in touch with us. Let us know what you're watching. Let us know what TV show is floating your boat right now because there's
Mm.
just so much shit
Mm.
out there. Honestly, it's hard to keep up. So if you're watching something and you like it, let us know and we'll speak about it on the show. But let's get into movie news now. Listen, Disney Plus is in the news for us this week because we've had Netflix crack down on the
Oh,
password
Netflix
thing.
ruined my life.
And
Oh.
mate, honestly,
Mm.
we've isn't Amazon? No, Amazon haven't done that yet, have they,
Not
Deval?
yet. No,
Not
not
yet.
yet.
All right, all
Mm.
right. I don't want to put that out in the ether, but
Mm.
Disney Plus, Deval, what's going on? Because they could be doing something similar, right?
Oh, Disney Plus are now following Amazon in
Oh
the
man,
whole sharing of passwords crackdown. For
bollocks.
them, sharing is not caring. So a little while ago, Netflix made it impossible to share your passwords with someone else because your account was uniquely linked to your IP
Mm,
address. So
yeah.
anywhere in your IP address, you can use that Netflix account and it's cool. No one else outside your household can use it. And that's now made a lot of people have to go out and get separate Netflix accounts, which has worked.
Oh,
Netflix have got more money, more subscribers. Now
yeah.
Disney Plus are looking to do the same thing,
Mhm.
and they've started with sending a warning, no, not a warning, but like
You know,
an update
hey,
message
yeah,
to subscribers in Canada. So Canada first are the ones that are going to
yeah,
be told about this, and I think they're going to test that out with Canada before they
yeah.
roll it out internationally. So yeah, I mean
And that
Disney Plus.
and you know it's going to come, right? Because with Netflix, the same thing. They rolled it out in a few little regions,
Mm,
and then it's become this whole big thing. Um, just remind me again, Deval. You know, with Netflix they have different tiers.
Yeah.
Do they have this? I can't remember if Disney Plus do the same thing. Do
Nope.
they? Will they have
Nope.
tiers? No, they don't.
One tier to rule them all. Just one subscription. You don't need to get HD this, HD that. It's one
Yeah,
subscription, and Bob's your uncle. So
yeah.
yeah.
Because I know with
hmm
the Netflix they've got one tier where you've got adverts.
Yeah, I didn't realize that because this hit
It's
the Netflix
cheaper.
thing hit me. I was using my brother's account for
Mm.
ages, and
Yeah.
then I had to find out about getting Netflix for myself. And I saw the price of it, and I was like, "Shit,
I
there's
was like, what
different." I was like,
the
"Huh?
hell? Yeah,
Oh my
this
gosh!"
is
So
mad.
yeah,
So there's one year, there's a cheaper tier, but you've got to watch adverts and stuff.
yeah,
All right, folks, be warned. Remember, public services announcement. We're letting people know about this. This is going to happen. All
yeah.
right, let's move on to other news. Now,
Oh
Deval,
me, first sneeze on the Netflix. Oh shit!
I know. Deval, where do you stand on Bambi?
Bambi, 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 Bambi. No, I ain't got time for
No,
Bambi.
mate.
I ain't got time for Bambi.
It's you know what? Maybe it was my childhood. Though that just kind of went over my head. The Bambi thing, no, it just
No,
wasn't part. But I
I've never
know,
seen it.
never seen it, mate. I've never seen it. But Bambi, from what I've heard, is this big, massive Disney thing,
Yeah, it's well
and
loved. Well
people
loved.
cry
Sad
and
story.
like
Didn't Bambi's mum
sad,
die or something?
right or
Bambi's mum was
something,
killed by a hunter or something. Then
something.
Bambi had to, survive
Exactly. And this
on her
story,
own or his own. I don't know. Mm.
exactly, this story's been breaking hearts apparently since
Mm.
1942.
Mm-mm.
So,
Damn.
Deval, why is this in our news?
Well, you know how Disney love to remake. I mean, we just talked
Oh
about Disney Plus,
gosh.
didn't we?
Yeah.
Disney continues, but they like to remake old stories because they don't
Yep.
have maybe the creativity or the guts, the bravery to do something
True.
totally new.
True.
They've remade Aladdin, they've remade Mulan, they've
Yep.
remade what else? They remade Beauty and the Beast.
Beast.
They're remaking all kinds of stuff. Snow White's being remade.
Yep. How many
Now they're
times
going
God
to
knows?
remake Bambi, but
Yeah.
they're not going to remake Bambi in just what we've seen in the past and just basically refresh it. They're going to do an all new Bambi. So they're going to do
Mm.
Bambi for modern audiences
Oh
and
damn.
2000 and I don't know 25 or whenever it comes out. It's going
Whenever
to
it
be
comes
live
out,
action as well. So you're going to have real like Lion King,
yeah.
real looking
Ooh.
animals speaking and being all I guess politically correct or I don't know what's going to happen basically, but it's going to be animals. I
Will
don't know
the
how
animal die? Will the mum die in this one? I don't know.
I don't know.
Is it too much for audiences right
I
now?
don't know. Probably be the dad because they'll probably change it around, isn't it? The dad will
Yeah.
die. But yeah, I don't know how they're going to do like politically correct animals. How does that work? Anyway, they're going to do
Mm.
it. They're going to make it for modern audiences. However that looks, I'm not too sure. But I mean, I haven't seen the old Bambi. So people that have seen it, they may love it, and maybe we're talking shit.
Yep.
Bambi is well loved, and
It
we're not
is.
taking anything away from that. But it's just not for me. So I'm not going to see the old or the new version, to be
Nah.
honest.
Yeah.
Mm.
And if you do see it, or if you have seen it, let us know what is it about Bambi that people love so much. But listen, let's speak about this, Deval. I mean, I'm not sure about you, but when
Mm.
Zorro, the Antonio Banderas movie first
Mm.
came out, I think it was early 90s. Man, I just got such a massive kick out of watching that movie. There was just something about it, something about seeing Catherine Zeta-Jones and seeing the chemistry between her and
Mm.
Antonio Banderas. It had, what's his name? Dr. Lecter, what was his name again? Damn,
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins was the first
Mm.
original in the movie, the original Zorro, and then the mantle gets passed
Ah,
down to
okay,
Antonio
okay,
Banderas
okay.
and everything like that. Mate, I had a massive, great time watching that movie. It was fun, action packed. This character from I think it started off as a comic book in the 1920s or something like that. And then it was serialized. And the news here is that it's coming back. They're doing a reboot,
Mm.
remake of Zorro, that kind of, Mexican, uh,
Mm.
almost like kind of like, a Robin Hood-esque type of a character,
Okay. Yeah.
takes
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
rich people,
Yeah.
gives to the poor, stands up for kind of the poor, the working class person, great kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, man, it's weird. Why hasn't there been a Zorro remake and everything? Now, here's the thing. They haven't gone for a Hollywood or a known Hollywood actor. Antonio Banderas, I'm just trying to think, was he known back in the 90s, Deval? Was he big in the 90s?
It was coming up, I would say. Desperado, was that before or after?
Right about the same
But
time, I got to say.
is it okay? Yes, I guess he must have been coming up.
So
Uh,
there's a teaser for it. It's out there. I haven't seen it yet, but it's a guy, an actor called Miguel Bernadao as the new
okay.
master hero known as Don Diego de la Vega. Um, and obviously it became like a huge, popular, pop icon in, Mexico and Latin America and things like that. So interesting to see them do this. Now, I don't know if this is going to be a film or if this is going to be a TV show, but check this out. It's going to be directed by a person who's been behind Money Heist.
Okay.
And so that kind of what you're getting there, kind of someone who kind of caters to modern audience. Money Heist is a very modern thing,
Mm.
but I guess they're going to kind of root that in back it when it was set 30s or 40s, I want to say. So it should be good. It should be good. Looking forward to it. I don't know much else about it,
Mm.
but it should be interesting. Devour Zorro. Um,
Yeah.
you know,
Okay. Let's see. Let's see
let's see
what they
what
can do.
happens.
Okay.
Let's see
All
what
right.
happens. And then the other thing that I want to speak about, well, check this out. So Miramax, they are the owners of the Halloween franchise. And just recently we had Halloween, was it Halloween Ends? Was that the last one?
Halloween ends. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And the news here is Miramax apparently is shopping the Halloween franchise. So the rights to the Halloween, they want to sell it on
Mm.
because there was this deal with Miramax and Blumhouse
Okay.
where they would kind of work together. And I think it was Universal, which would then kind of deal with the distribution. That deal ended because it was a 3-movie deal.
Mm.
We had Halloween, which was kind of this direct sequel to the 1978 version. Laurie Strode, she's back, and the main kind of original cast. And I just want to say this: if you want to go back and listen to our review of Halloween, about just is just absolutely hilarious. This is going back a few years now. It kills me, absolutely kills me. One of the most listened to episode I think that we've got about.
Is it?
Yeah, there's like about 67. Like, I don't know how many times that one's been downloaded. But basically, it's now the rights. They want to sell the rights. Now, is that a good thing or is that a bad thing? Why would you want to sell the rights?
Well, I
Why are
think
they
that
done with it?
if they can sell it, then I think they should. In because I think it's done. That whole thing is done, and I can't
Mm,
see it being any better. So if they can get any money for it and then just walk away, I would do
yeah.
it. Because for me, Halloween is dead. It was killed. They said it themselves.
Mm.
Halloween kills. Halloween ends. It's ended. You know
Ended. Evil dies tonight.
exactly.
Basically, it
Evil
hasn't
dies
died.
tonight.
Exactly. Well, listen, the movies, mate. But having said that, the movies have done really, really well. Like the budgets
Mm,
combined for the 3
okay.
movies was
Mm.
63 million.
Are
Have
you
a guess how much
serious? For all 3 movies,
all
63.
three 63
That's
million.
that's not bad. That's.
They took close to $500 million.
Are you serious? That's more than a 10x. More than a 10x.
3 movies, 63 million
Is
budget,
it?
half a bill. They did
Oh.
really well. And obviously the first one was great. Second one was good as well. Third one kind of like,
Mm, that's good.
lost it a
That's
bit.
good money back. See, horror films can give you good return because
Yeah.
they don't normally have a massive. Well, if you make them good, the budget
Mm.
won't be massive.
No, 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 no. And
Mm,
maybe this goes into a TV show. Who knows? But evil probably doesn't end tonight. All
mm-mm,
right, let's end our movie news devour on this thing. So the writer's strike. It was kind of for me as well. I kind of didn't really know much about it, but the writer's strike apparently is over. They've struck a deal, and this whole thing about AI and about
mm,
whether or not film studios could use AI to help write stories. Or another big thing, which was this, Deval. Imagine if we wrote a treatment for a film, you and I, we wrote kind of, The Goat Man Part 2. And then we give that treatment to the film studio. The film studio says, you know what, guys, Devout Amar, we love it. Leave it with us. We're going to work on it. And then they use AI to then expand that treatment. We wouldn't get credit for it. So what this deal now does is it puts into place safeguards so that your name and my name get recognized, and they can't use AI to further someone else's work, which sounds good,
that makes
right?
a lot of sense. And AI is something that is in the future is going to be a big issue. We're going to talk about AI in the creator later, so it's definitely apt. This story, but people need to be protected for their creativity, their likeness, their input, because otherwise the studios always win, and they know what they're doing, man. They know what they're doing. So I think the agreement, the reason why the strikes come to an end, there's been a 3-year sort of agreement on these conditions. So again, in 3 years' time, they're going to review it and see what happens. There could be another strike, or maybe they can settle it behind closed doors. So we'll see.
And because at the moment, AI, man, like seriously, AI could write a film script for you.
Yeah. You could write the script of the show, the Flixters. It's all going to be AI.
Mate, it's all going to be AI. Give it 3 years.
I was in a meeting, a work meeting a few days ago. So there was 4 people in the meeting, and then there was a 5th person that was logged in. And I said, "Oh, hi to that person." And then one person from that company, because it was a separate company, one person from that company said, "Oh, no, they're not here. It's their AI." And I was like, "Huh?" She said, "Yeah, their AI is in the meeting to take notes." I was like,
"What? That is mad."
Great. I was like, "Shit, this is the future. They're not here." "Oh, no, they're not here. It's their AI." She said like it was nothing. I was like, "When did this happen?"
Mate, this is it. Mate, AI is seriously. Oh man, there's going to be AIs to wash our asses, mate. I'm telling you, man. There's going to be like, seriously, it's going to be like, honestly, it's weird, it's exciting, it's scary, and we're going to get into kind of like the effects of all of that when we speak about the movie later on. But strikes over. We'll be bringing more news on that one. Let's get on to streaming now. Devout, I've caught up. I've seen the whole of Ahsoka, and you're right. The last 3 episodes, it kind of brought the story to this kind of great kind of conclusion. And General Thrawn, who's, I didn't know this, maybe I bet you knew this, but
Mads
the guy,
brother,
Lars and he was the voice. He was the voice of Thrawn in the man.
You know what they're doing, man.
They brought him on.
His entrance, the music was different. I was like, it's different. That episode was perfect.
You know who I thought was brilliant? Their stormtrooper, that one with the voice. Oh man, the thing on him, he's been through some battles. Season 2, they're gonna. Oh man, it's gonna kick off.
They're supposed to be like some sort of mystical stormtrooper. So I think those 3 witches have like done something to them. That's what I heard.
And their voices are different.
Yeah, because I think they're meant to be dead, but then alive or something like that.
Oh man!
So it's mad. Yeah, it's mad. They're not normal stormtroopers, man, but they can still miss. No one can shoot. Flipping heck, man. No one. They don't need target practice in Star Wars. Flipping heck.
Oh man. So then, like Ezra, so we meet kind of Ezra in there, and he's kind of there. He's a bit goofy and everything, but so he's a Jedi as well.
Yeah, he was training. I don't think he's a complete Jedi, like the most powerful one, but he's still he's got Jedi. He's got the Force, and Sabine as well. She gets on my nerves.
She has it.
Yeah,
she annoyed me. She did annoy me.
She's a bit
So she's
annoying,
Force. So she's Force. So she hasn't finished her training though.
No. She's still started out. She's a newbie with a training kind of. So she can do some stuff, but that's why you see her with a gun and a lightsaber. She can't deflect the bullets like a real Jedi can. So that's why she kind of rolls with both, and she's got her Mandalorian armor. She's got quite a lot. If she became a true Jedi, she'll be formidable because she's got a lot. You know, she's got a
This
lot
is
going
why
on.
I wanted her to be kind of like at the end of the show where she's
Mm.
like, okay, can you now retrain me again? I want to kind of
Okay.
relearn.
Well, it
But
hasn't
there
finished
wasn't
yet. There's
that kind of a thing.
one more episode. 8 episodes, you know?
Oh,
Yeah,
shit,
there's
you're
one more.
kidding me. I thought
Eight.
it's
I thought
over.
it was seven too, but no, it's 8 episodes.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Damn.
yeah,
Right. Okay. So we still got
yeah,
there's going to be a sting in the tail then.
yeah, 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 yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Okay. If you're not watching it, watch it because it's
Hmm.
picking up. It's
Yeah,
great. They went
good,
off world. They
good.
went to another place.
Hmm.
Boy, man. And
Scotland,
that
yeah.
off world place was that Scotland?
It's usually Scotland. It looks like the place in Prometheus. It looks like
It is.
in Star Wars. They love going to Scotland. It's just that kind of
Trust me.
vast landscape. Kind of looks cloudy and
Dull and
primordial.
like exactly. Yeah. All right. Okay. So there's that's on. So if you can watch that, but then there's this other show that just dropped on Friday. Oh man, I've seen there's 3 episodes that I've dropped. I've only seen the first 2 episodes, Deval. But mate, this show needs no introduction.
Gen
It's just
V,
Gen V.
Gen V.
Oh man,
The less said, the better. This is
Deval.
a good. You know, a show is good, yeah, when it comes on and you watch nothing else, but you just
Else.
go through it. I went through it in one sitting. I want
Mm,
more. This show is just like The Boys. It's
yeah,
mad. It's basically around. It's like The Boys, but basically in a university setting. So
mm,
younger people, a bit more or less controlled, you know, in their
yep,
emotions, and they're all trying to fit in. They're all trying to succeed. It's still got the same sort of boys hierarchy. There's like a a principal or whatever you call them, a
yeah,
dean or whatever they're called,
mm,
who's kind of like, they are very very much evil, but in a sort of
yeah.
nice kind of way. You don't know if
Mm.
you can trust them. They're very insidious. You got parents involved. You got people with crazy powers. It's like you got blood, like
Oh
you got
mate,
dicks. You got everything.
mate, this one,
The
the
sex
sex
scene that I
scene,
saw in this is like
mate.
no other you're ever going to see in your life. Mad,
It's like where
mad.
the hell do they get this from? And obviously they look to the source material like the comic books and everything, but there still was
Yeah,
something crazy about it. And exactly what Deval said. It's just if you love the boys, you're gonna love Gen V, and blood, guts, you name it, the whole thing. So here's the thing, Deval. Patrick
Sean Patrick.
Schwarzenegger.
Oh, hold on. Who was he? He
That
wasn't Golden Boy, was he?
he was,
Oh my gosh!
mate. That was Arnie's son.
I didn't realize that was him.
Yes, that was him. And here's the thing, I was thinking, oh my God, this guy's in Gen V, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And
Yeah.
then that whole scene happens, and I was like, what?
Mm,
That was like, what,
that
what,
was
what?
him.
Yeah.
I did not. Okay, I'm trying to picture his face again.
And the thing is, there's in certain shots you can
Mm.
see, oh, this is Arnie's son. This is Arnie's son because he's
Now
got
I've
his
got to watch it
jaw.
again to see
Yeah,
now because
he's got
I
his
didn't.
nose.
Yeah.
But then there's some other bits where I'm like, shit, he
Mm.
doesn't look like Arnie here, and
Okay.
like
Okay.
he's just
Okay.
got he's a lot slimmer, way
Yeah.
slimmer
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
Arnie.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Okay.
Um,
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, so I can't wait for this. And the rabbit hole, we're gonna go down this rabbit hole, like you said, man. It's good,
Mm.
great. That's it. I
Looking
can't.
forward to it, man.
Right, I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to
Looking
it.
forward to it. Amazon's a good place to be right now. Amazon
Yeah,
Prime. Mm.
this is great. This is great. So go check those shows out, and if you have seen them, let us know what you think. Does Gen V live up to the hype?
Mm.
Pretty sure it does. All right, let's move on to trailers. Now, this one, I think Devala, you and I, we spoke about this off air last week, but this is called When Evil Lurks. And oh man, this is really creepy, really scary shit going on. This is a Spanish movie, and some weird stuff going on, some village, like
This gives me
with the
vibes of
goats.
Lamb,
Oh man,
Midsummer. This gives me
yeah.
vibes of what's the film that we saw? Ariasta, the first one.
Oh,
Uh, the first one with Tony
Hereditary.
Collette, Hereditary.
Yeah,
The with Witch. The dark
yeah.
sort of medieval, not medieval, but sort of New England film. This
Mm,
film looks disturbing.
mm. It's just exactly disturbing. Like, what is it? Like, what's terrorizing them? What spirits there?
It's
And
doing
you know,
lambs. what is it with
Oh,
lambs and the sort of
lambs.
the evilness, you know?
The
And I
goat
love a bit of
thing.
lamb,
Oh my
you
God.
know, lamb stewed or lamb
And what
shank
about you?
or
The
lamb
goat man.
kebab or, you know, it's going
And
to
what
put
about
me
the
off
nun?
lamb for life.
You remember
Yeah.
the nun, the
What
goat
is it with,
thing?
do you know what? I need to do some, I'm scared to do the research, but I want to know what is bad with a lamb because people eat lamb all over the shop, but then, but
Mate, I do. I love a lamb.
you know what I mean? But then it's like they're showing us lambs are not. Oh man, it's
This going
confusing.
on, this like, oh man, it's weird. Go check it out. It's called Where
Yeah,
Evil, yeah, Where Evil Lurks, which is
lurks. You
horrible.
know, that's
Lurks, hiding, waiting to
this is a
jump
film.
and
This is a
pounce on
film.
you.
I honestly tell you, I cannot wait to watch. Are you going to
Mm.
watch it in English or Spanish? What are you going to do?
Oh no, I'm gonna watch it in Spanish.
Yeah, look at you.
Yeah,
Watch it
I'll
in
go
Spanish.
watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. I'll just choose that one. Yeah, watch it in Spanish. You fucker.
Because you know what happened? What happened is there'll be some sort of like the dubbing will be like
Yeah.
it'll be American dubbing, and I'll be like, no, I can't be doing this. If it's British dubbing, maybe I don't know. But yeah. So when
Oh
evil
gosh.
lurks, like you know what, watch that. Go check it out.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
this
yeah,
other
yeah.
one, Soulmates. Yeah, this is another weird one, man. Like, what's going on over here, Deval?
This one reminds me of. We're going to talk about it later. This reminds me of Saw. This reminds me of Escape Room. I don't know if you saw that
Yeah,
film a few years ago.
yep, defo.
Uh, and I
And it's got
don't.
the guy from
Yeah,
How
those
to Get
two,
Away
I'd
with
say.
Murder.
Yeah, yeah. So it's basically two people. They kind of wake up and they're handcuffed together,
Mm.
and they are. I think they may have met on a dating app or some. I can't remember what it is,
It's
but they're
something,
brought
yeah,
together. They wake up together. They're linked. They're bound together,
chained.
and they
Yeah,
have to go through a series of tests and challenges to stay alive. And it seems like I say, it's like Saw and
Saw.
Escape Room mixed into one. It looks mad. It's definite horror. It's
Mm.
a fun horror kind of film, if you can call it that. But this
Yeah,
this looks like an interesting one. This is out next month, I think, in October. So again,
yeah.
Halloween is warming up. But yeah,
It's warming up,
Soulmates
man.
looks
Oh
mad.
man,
Yeah,
and what a title as well, Soulmates.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so go check that one out. That's a good one. Now this one, I want to speak about this. So this is from the director who brought us Kingsman. Uh, did you do X-Men? Did you do one of the X-Men movies? No,
Brian Singer, is it? Is that the one?
no,
Who's
Matthew
talking about?
Vaughn.
Matthew Vaughn. Yeah, he did do X. Yeah, he did do one of them. He done. I think was it the first one or second one? One of them. I can't remember. He
First
done. He
Class,
done.
was it First Class?
Oh, that's the one. Yeah, First Class. Yeah,
He
yeah,
did
yeah.
First Class. He's done
Mm,
Kingsman. He's done Kick-Ass. Didn't he do Kick-Ass? No.
I don't think so.
Who did Kick-Ass?
Kick Ass. That's a good film. That's a really good film. Kick Ass. Kick Ass was Aaron Taylor Johnson, Chloe Grace Moretz. Yeah, Matthew Vaughn. Matthew Vaughn. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
he did it.
Mm,
Mate, this guy is great. He's a good director. So he's behind this movie called Argyle, starring flipping out. It's got obviously Henry Cavill, Samuel L.
mm,
Jackson. It's got
mm,
Bryce Dallas Howard, Dua Lipa. It's got Sam Rockwell, who's really really great. And it starts off with this weird looking Henry Cavill. He's got this kind of funny haircut. He
yeah,
plays a spy,
the Seven
and
Up
then
Man.
yeah, he's kind of like he's a spy, and there's kind of this whole thing going on. But then the trailer reveals that it's all in a novel that Bryce
Mm,
Dallas Howard has written,
mm,
and so she's a writer. She's writing this kind of novel, this series called Argyle Spy Series. But then she gets caught up in a real life spy thriller,
mm,
and so it's got action, it's got martial arts, it's got gunplay, it's got gunfights, comedy, you name it, like
yeah.
Kingsman, all that sort of stuff. It looks fun, man. It looks really good. And I suspect there's going to be a famous person who plays the real spy at the end.
Mm,
Because in the trailer,
yeah.
they don't reveal who it is, but they
Mm,
say, we want you to meet the real Argyle, the real kind of person, but we don't see who that is. So
mm.
who do you reckon it could be? It's got to be Daniel Craig, man.
Oh, I've actually seen the film, so I can't say.
Oh shit! You are
But
kidding
it's
me.
mad. This film is out in February 2024. I saw this film right now. We're September 2023. I saw this film at least it's got to be at least 6 months ago. At
Shut
least I saw
up.
this film.
Shut up,
No
Deval.
joke. But when I saw it, it was
What?
unfinished. A lot of the special effects were it just looked funny. Yeah, a lot of the special effects weren't there and stuff. But obviously the
You're
film was
kidding
still
me.
together. I saw this film ages ago. It's mad, but I can't talk about
But
it.
why? But why? Like, why is it taking so long?
Maybe. Well, I reckon they finished it, obviously, but then I think they want to release it at a time period where they've got a good slot and maybe not a lot of competition, or I'm not sure.
Yeah, because this is
Uh,
Apple TV as
so it's
well.
Apple TV. Oh, it's not going to cinema.
No, no, it's going to be a cinema release, but it's
Oh,
then
okay,
probably going to come
okay,
onto
okay. I didn't realize that.
Apple
Okay,
TV.
okay, okay.
Damn, you've
Yeah,
all
I
right.
saw them
Okay,
months
so
ago, so I know the answers, but I just can't say. Otherwise,
all right,
obviously,
yeah, because
we know they
Deval
all listen
is
to our podcast. They all
NDA
listen to
exactly.
it,
You can't.
and I don't want to, them to give a reason to block us, to cancel us.
So yeah, you're right. You're right. So 2nd of Feb 2024 is in the UK. I don't know when. You know what? I don't know
Mm,
when it's going to hit Australia.
okay.
It's probably going to be after that.
Yeah. But yeah, this
Mm.
was done a while ago. Yeah.
Okay, but was it fun?
Yeah. It's an action comedy. Yeah, really slick, and it's a cool film. That's all I can say.
All right. All right. Okay, cool.
Mm,
I can't wait to hear your take on it. All right. So listen, let's finish up trailers with this one. Now, this one, if you love your animation, your Japanese animation, your anime, and
mm.
I know there's one person out there who definitely does.
Emmanuel
So
Sun.
Emmanuel-san,
Mm,
I'm telling you, I put this on there for you as well. But this is Onimusha. Now, this story, Deval, is
mm,
based on this character called Miyamoto Musashi, who's this legendary samurai. And there's been books written about him, and these books of kind of, massive, the Book of Five Rings. And this kind of
mm,
massive, kind of like really detailed story about his life and about he sought out, or people sought him out to fight him, battle him, to be the
mm,
greatest kind of samurai warrior. And this Onimusha is basically based on him. But here's the thing: it's the guy behind this is this legendary Japanese film director called Takashi Miike, I want to say, and he's come up with some weird and wonderful movies, really violent,
mm,
bloody. And you see the trailer, it's got tragedy, it's got drama, it's got action, it's got blood, everything that you'd want from an anime. I reckon
mm,
this is great. This is going to be brilliant. It's coming out on November the 2nd. And I reckon it's going to be really, really good. It's called Onimusha.
okay. Decent. So that's a
Yeah.
cinema release then, yeah?
Netflix, this is going to
And
come on.
Netflix. Sorry. Okay. Netflix. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
Netflix, November the 2nd. So we've got a while.
Okay.
So go check out the trailer. If you love your blood and guts and gore and your kind of that whole Japanese tradition of the
Mm,
samurai, those
mm,
amazing kind of like,
mm,
vistas,
mm. I'm
you
still
know.
hooked on Ninja Scroll. I think that's for me.
Oh
I
man.
love Ninja Scroll. 1993. Shit, that's 30 years old. That's anniversary corner, but that's one of the. Oh man, I love Ninja Scroll.
I
Oh,
know, man. All that, I love that. And you know what? Someone's recommended to me. It wasn't even a recommendation. I know about it, but Castlevania is
oh, that's
on
Paul
Netflix
Phoenix.
as
Paul
well.
Phoenix mentioned that. Yeah,
Mate, I
O'Shea
think the
PD.
news,
He mentioned
yeah,
that.
I think there was a new season that came out, and I'm like, yes, Castlevania, man, I've got to watch that as well.
Yeah. That's good. I've seen the
Yeah,
first season. That's good. Yeah.
yeah, it's good. So go check out those. Those are all your trailers, and if you do see them, let us know what you think. Let's move on now. What we're doing now, Deval, we're doing anniversary corner,
Mm.
and
So
we've got
this
to bring
one,
it all the way back.
yeah, but it's a bit of a trick here. If you notice the year, I've tricked everyone, or I've tricked you. I don't know. If I tricked
Oh
you,
yeah, yeah.
maybe I've tricked you because the movie Saw came out in 2004,
So,
but the short film, which is still an official film, the
oh,
short film that launched it all came out in 2003. It was 9 minutes long. And this was directed by James Wan, co-written and starred Lee Wanell.
yeah,
They
yeah.
began like they're obviously filmmakers that loved their craft and so on. And that
Mm,
short film in 2003, it garnered a lot of attention. The quality was there, and then from that, a year later, they were able to get a small budget and make Saw, which then obviously kicked off this
that's
whole. Conjuring franchise, Annabelle, a lot of it, even Aquaman. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
James Wan, Lee Winnell. They just got their hands all
Fast
over
and
it.
Furious.
Blumhouse, and then it was Lionsgate. I think Lionsgate before was the one that
Mm.
brought out all the Saw films. I mean, Lionsgate had that kind of
Yeah.
contraption-y kind of
Yep.
animation at the
Yep.
start. But yeah, this is a film. You can't find it everywhere. You can find it, I think, you might get it on YouTube somewhere, but you can get it
Mm.
on the sort of DVD special edition collection of Saw, the original film.
Yeah.
So you can get the Saw short film on there. Only 9 minutes long, but it's worth a watch, and you get to see just where the inspiration came from. You can see one of the traps, one of their famous mouth traps that's
Yeah.
been used in the Saw films. That was in the original one as well, and
You
they
know what?
said that was a real like trap, like the
Oh,
animal trap was a real working one, but they had to be really careful not to actually, set it
like,
off.
jeez, I would love to get James Wan on the show. Do you know that, Deval?
Mm-hmm,
We would
mm,
just to basically kind of ask, like, you had this 10 minute, 9, whatever it was, short film, and
mm,
then for you then to 10 movies.
mm. Yeah,
It's
mad,
like how does that even happen?
mad,
Like, so
mad, mad.
that just shows you film directors, they do these short films, and like, they
Hmm.
can lead on to other great things. So yeah, um, brilliant. Yeah, go check that out if you can find it on YouTube, like Deval saying.
Yeah,
And that leads us nicely
we'll
onto
do. Yeah,
yeah,
we saw.
leads nicely onto Saw, which is
Hmm.
Saw X or Saw 10.
Yep.
Um, so we had a few years ago, Deval, we had the Book of Saw, no, Jigsaw, the
Let's forget that. Let's Men in
yeah,
Black out of our minds.
that
Fucking
is,
heck.
I know, man. So they tried to then kind of go off and do their own little thing, but now they've kind of brought things all the way
Mm,
back to square one. Um, so yeah, so you went out and you saw this. I haven't seen this, so you can spoil away. So don't worry about all of that.
mm.
And if you have seen it, if you haven't seen it, so just watch out because we might spoil a few things, and maybe you want to pause
Mm.
this and come back to it. But Deval, take it away. This is Saw X.
Yeah, so this won't be a massively long review, but this is going to be just giving you a flavor of what Saw's about, what's happening,
Yeah,
what this film's about, really. Because he talks about 10 films. That's a lot of movies. It's kind of Fast and Furious realm. You know what I mean?
yeah,
When Saw One came out in 2004, for the next, I think it's 5. Well, I want to say 6 years. I want to say 5 or 6 years. There was a film every year. Every
yeah.
year, a sequel came out. Every
Mm,
year. So they did need a bit of a break. After Spiral, that was shit. They needed a bit of a
yeah.
break. Saw 10 sees a return of John Kramer.
I can't believe it because, like, anyone maybe listening might be thinking, but hang on a second, didn't he die? Isn't he supposed to be
My
dead? So
man
how can he
ain't
come
dead.
back? No, no, he's not
Mm-mm,
dead.
mm-mm. So yeah, John Kramer, he's got his
Yeah.
brain cancer situation happening, and
Mm,
in this film, this is before the events of many of the films that we've seen before.
mm,
So he's got his condition, and he wants to get treatment. The condition that he's got isn't treatable by conventional hospitals and stuff. They're just saying that he's going to die and just
yeah.
you know deal with it. So he seeks experimental treatment. He speaks to a doctor in, I think, Norway, or somewhere like that. I think the clinic, or her father's in Norway or something like that.
Yeah.
And then that doctor offers him salvation. He loves that word, didn't it?
I
You
know.
have got salvation.
I just,
You know what I mean?
oh gosh.
He always, all these films he
If
said
you want
that.
Deval to do your voicemail message, mate, I'm telling you seriously, get onto him. But yeah, go on.
But yeah, so he wants a chance to live, so he'll do anything. So basically, he offers his life savings to pay them to do that treatment, give him life. So long story short, they get him, they operate on him, he pays him all his money, and then he
Mm.
realizes that they tricked him
They
and they didn't
fleeced
do
him.
shit. They didn't
Mm.
do shit, but just
Mm.
cut his head and seal it up again. They didn't
Which
do
is what
shit.
people do sometimes. They do that
Mate,
in real
I
life.
heard, but yeah, it's a
Yeah,
big scam, big scam.
massive.
And then from that is where he wants to get revenge on them, and he's
Mm.
like, they need to pay for what they've done, and
Yeah.
they've been doing this to a lot of people, a list of 34 people they've done this to, and he
Yeah.
finds out. So him, and he gets his help from Amanda, who we saw in Saw. We saw in Saw 2. She had the original mouth trap on her.
Oh.
Yeah, Amanda.
Because she escaped. No, but she escaped. No, she survived that one. No, she didn't survive that one, did she?
Yeah, she survived one and she died further on because she came
Yeah,
back in, I
yeah,
think, in Saw 6 or something like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
But she's his aide, so
Mm,
they now get all the people that were involved, and they
mm.
basically saw them and put them in the traps, and they give
So-
them all. The thing is with him, yeah, you've always got a chance.
yeah,
He wants to see how you deal with, the situation. You got a
yeah,
chance to live, but you must sacrifice something because of the way you were
exactly.
living your life.
Yeah.
You now must make a choice. Sacrifice your freedom, or you can, or you can die in the very way that you lived your life, kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The choice is yours. So he puts them all in these contraptions.
Stop it. Stop it. Seriously.
He puts them in the contraptions, and they are mad. I'm gonna sort of end it here because I don't want to spoil it too much. But there's one
Yeah.
lady who, man, people are cutting their legs off. People need
Oh
to get brain
man.
matter. People
This is
need to
medieval.
do
This is
all kinds of
medieval.
medieval shit. Proper. People need to do all kinds of shit to survive. And what gets
Yeah.
me is that, like, they try, but it's usually up until the last second they fail. So that, like, it's double whammy. You might as well not have tried. Just sit there and face the
Just
consequences because
wait for it. Yeah, exactly.
you're not gonna do it. But yeah, it's interesting how the dynamic is, and just what he's willing to do to
Mm,
show them the error of their ways, and then you find
exactly.
out how evil some of them are, and some of them are quite innocent, but still they got to
Mm,
go through it. But yeah, this for me, still number one was one of the best ones. Well, the
yeah.
best one. Two was again good, great. At the end, the way I think Donnie Wahlberg and the guy was
Yeah.
chatting, and you realized it was
Times.
different time frames. It was really good
Yeah.
catch at the end. This one's good. It kind of brings you back to the Saw
Mm.
world, because some of
The
them are
gore.
kind of,
From what I got was from what I hear is that they brought it back in terms of kind of the gore.
the gore is back. There's really buckets of blood in this one. Buckets of blood. It's not directed or
Buckets of
written
blood.
by,
Is
James
it
Wan or Lee Winnell. I think they kind of
okay?
produce. So they're not,
Mm,
this is set mostly in Mexico as well.
okay.
So very different landscape to normal all the other movies. So
Yeah.
it's a bit different. A bit different. I think the budget's quite smaller as well. It's quite contained. But
Yeah.
this guy, I mean, it's
He
20
did
years
Saw.
ago.
He did Saw 6. The director of this one did Saw
Oh,
6,
okay, there you go. Okay, yeah, so he knows his stuff.
and
But
he
what's
did
his
Saw
name?
3D.
Tobin Bell. 19 years ago, we first saw him in Saw. The guy's still looking good. Obviously, I think it adds to the fact that he's meant to be sick. So the way he looks older actually
Yeah.
adds to the aesthetic of him
Yeah.
being, you know. But yeah, it's a decent film. It's good. The music. There's a part of the film. There's always a part where you think you know what's going on, and then he
Mm,
gets you. This
he
man is
gets you.
clever. So when that bit
Oh,
happens, yeah, it is so good because then the music. I don't know if it's the original, but they remixed it a bit, and it's just
yeah.
ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, and it starts to hit, and then you understand why. Oh my
Yeah.
man, that bit, best bit for me. Oh,
I
it's good.
know. I honestly, no joke, I feel like doing a Saw binge watch.
Do it, man. I think there's one on Amazon right now. I think it's Soul 6 or something. But
Is it?
if you, yeah, it's but
You
just
know,
miss out Spiral. But yeah, it's the
Spiral. Yeah,
music,
yeah.
man. Mm.
You know at the ending, there is an end credit scene, is there?
There is actually, there is,
So
yeah,
there's an
an
end
end
credit
credit
scene.
scene that kind of brings it back to yesteryear, kind of thing. Yeah,
So does
no,
that
not at the
mean
very
what?
end. It's like a mid credit, not the very end. So don't wait
Okay,
to the very end.
but does that mean though that there is going to be another Saw?
100%. If this, I don't know, what's the budget? They're not releasing what the budget is on this, but if the
Oh,
budget
okay.
is modest and they make a lot from it, then guaranteed they will have to make more saws because there's space. The way they've left it, there is space to
Mm,
make more saws. The budget is estimated $13 million, 1 3.
that's
So
enough
I
then.
can imagine they might, if not 10x, they might at least get back 90 million or something. So I reckon they should do all right. People like
Yeah.
Saw. People like Saw. Do you know what I mean? So Yeah, I reckon it should be alright.
Even if the movie does 50 million, I reckon they'll probably still do it,
There's
right?
still space, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So
There's
yeah.
space for these types of movies. Oh, right.
Hmm.
Well, there you have it. Go check out Saw.
Mm.
And if you see Saw, let us know on the whole Instagram. Get in touch with us, and we'll love to hear your take on the whole kind of Saw franchise, good, bad, whatever. Listen, we've got time for one more movie. I want to speak
Yep.
about this movie. So Deval and I went out and watched this movie as well, because I was like, listen, I had time to watch a movie, and I was like, Saw or should I watch Creator?
Mm.
And I just had to watch the Creator because it's kind
Mm.
of, sci-fi. It's got
Mm.
vibes of Chappie. It's got
Mm.
vibes of
Mm.
he did like District 9 as well.
Mm.
Gave me vibes of Interstellar, Star Wars. It's so many kind of things going on in this.
Blade Runner.
This
Mm.
Blade Runner, and this
Mm.
is directed by Gareth Edwards,
Mm.
and he did Rogue One, didn't he? Gareth
Yeah,
Edwards,
Rogue One, Monsters, where a lot of
Monsters,
his
which is
career was the visual effects. This guy, if you go on IMDb, the first thing is visual effects. Man spent lots of years doing visual effects, and then he went into directing as well. So he's a gangster. Mm.
he did the VFX for Monsters on
Yeah,
his laptop at home. And I'm not joking, folks. If you have not seen Monsters, that movie is brilliant.
yeah.
So this movie, what I loved about this, first of all, Deval, like how we have stories take place in America, American audiences and stuff like that. I love the fact that, do you know what? No, we're not going there. We're going to Asia. We're going to
Mm.
New Asia. And it reminded me of
Thailand. They were in
Chappie.
Thailand.
Thailand,
Mm.
exactly. And it reminded me of Chappie, where it was kind of like, set in South Africa, let's find out what's going on in kind of like another part of the world. It's not always America. But what I did find interesting was, and for me, it felt like a throwback to Terminator Part 2.
Mm.
There's an event, something that happens in Los Angeles, and there's this massive kind of wipeout of,
Mm.
whole of Los Angeles, where AI gets switched on. AI is used, robots are used to help humanity fight
Mhm.
crime, help with education, help with health and everything.
Mm.
But then sometime in the future, there's a massive kind of thing that goes wrong, and AI
Mhm.
wipes out the whole of Los Angeles. And it kind of, there's a throwback to Terminator 2, where, the whole Cyberdyne networks, there's a
Mm.
massive explosion, things burn up. I just kind of thought that was a whole interesting, and where LA is kind of ground zero. But then the story shifts to New Asia,
Mm.
and Asia, they haven't got rid of the AIs.
Mhm.
And so there's this kind of battle between the US Army and the robots and the AI that's taking place in Asia, specifically New Asia, Thailand, and everything like that. So it's kind of majority of it's filmed over there, and that's where the story kicks off. So it stars David Washington, who is
Denzel Washington's son.
Denzel
Mm.
Washington's son. It's got Gemma Chan, and it's got a few other kind of faces.
Mm.
But apart from that, Deval,
Ken Watanabe.
Ken
We
Watanabe
see
from
him in Dark
Interstellar,
Knight, among others. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, lots of films. Good actor.
Inception. So it's only got a few kind of famous faces and everything, and then apart from that, it's got locals, people
Mm.
probably they might be locals in kind of like in Thai films
Mm.
or whatever, where we don't kind of see those people, but they're brilliant, they're great, and it's mixture of humans, playing robots and vice versa, and the voices and everything, which I thought was all great.
Mm.
So it's set in kind of like the near future, maybe 65 years from now, whatever. And there's this battle between the US Army and the AI, and they shove in, what's his name? Joshua. He's kind of undercover. He's kind of there to find out who the creator of the AI is, called uh, Nimrata, I want to say.
Yeah, Namata.
Nimata.
I think that's what it. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what,
so Nimata, he's the creator of AI. We
mm.
don't know who this person is. He's kind of, whatever. And but the thing is, he's undercover, but he's kind of gone. native in the sense that he's fallen in love with the
That's what
person
the
that
guy
he's
said
supposed
to him, innit? Don't go native, man.
to go native. He has gone native.
Yeah.
And the US Army, they come in. He loves Gemma Chan's character. She's part of the whole, involved in the whole
Mm.
mix. And then there's a massive explosion and shit hits the fan and boom, that's it. As far as Joshua is concerned, his wife's dead. Gemma Chan's dead. And the US Army are none the wiser. But then 8 years later or 5 years later, whatever, the US Army, they come knocking on his door and they're like, listen, Josh, we need you to go back because we've got a
Mm.
lead on this new technology, this new AI. It's so advanced, it's got the power to destroy our ships, our drones, and knock us all out. We want you to go in. And he's like, whoa, why should I go in? And they're like, your wife, she's alive.
Hmm.
And then he sucked back into the whole thing. So Deval, that's the setup. I mean, what did you make of it?
Yeah, I think this film is. Do you know what? This is a powerful film, and I'm
Mm,
scared at the way it's told. Even the way it starts, it kind of starts with 50s esque footage of
mm,
governments talking about enemies and weapons, and kind of reminds you of back in the day, maybe the Cold War, and then
yeah,
the standoff between like America, Cuba, Russia, the Cuban Missile Crisis type
yeah,
situation. But this reminds me of sort of the way the landscape is today. You have
mm,
superpowers talking about other superpowers being enemies and vice versa. And this, for me, I like the way this film looked at America not being the good guy. America's
mm,
always the good guy, always. In this
mm,
film, they kind of were not, were they? Like they talked
mm.
about New Asia being the enemy and having AI, and then we found out how the AI and how the destruction in LA was not actually caused
Caused.
intentionally by New Asia, if at all caused by them, but some
Mm.
sort of malfunction that happened.
Yeah, in
But
the
then
coding, in the programming.
exactly, yeah, and then obviously
Mm,
looking at how, a lot of the times, I guess in the real world as well, America goes somewhere, another play part in the world, to root out some sort of enemy or weapon,
mm,
and will do anything in their means to get that weapon, including, lots of casualties, which we've
yeah,
seen many times before. So this kind of plays out in a way that it has played out in the past.
yeah,
Uh, and you start thinking, but who's the enemy? From what perspective is the enemy? Do you know what I mean? And yeah, it kind of gave me that kind of perspective, and it kind of looked like they were also sending a message in that this happens, and but with
yeah.
AI being something that's on the forefront of many people's minds, we spoke about it with the writers' strike.
Mm,
This could be the next form of mass or weapon of mass destruction. Who
yeah,
knows? It might not be what we've seen in the past with conventional weapons and stuff like that, but this is something different, but
yeah.
at the same time, very scary and powerful. So yeah, I think I like the premise. I like the
Yeah.
aesthetics of it being in the
Aesthetics,
near
yeah.
future, but then at the same time, it's ragtag, and there's
Mm,
the technology is there, but then they're still living in kind of squalor. It's a bit mad.
yeah,
It's just very the disparity is a bit mad. That's why it reminded me
yeah.
of Blade Runner a bit as well as you mentioned
Mm,
Chappie. It's just the environment was very very gritty, and that's what
mm.
Gareth Edwards said. He wanted it to be very
He wants
different.
that, yeah,
Yeah, they filmed on location and added
yeah.
special effects afterwards. They didn't want to work on green screens and make it all look too
No,
shiny. So he said specifically, we're going to go to these locations. A lot of it was Thailand, film on location, and we'll add the special effects after. He's
yeah.
got experience of doing that with monsters. You
Oh,
know what I mean?
mate.
So he's the right person to do that. But yeah, this film, I think I've got to see it again probably.
Mm.
I did like it. I do like
Yeah,
it,
I
and I
liked it.
think
I
you'll
liked
like
it.
it as well. You know?
Yeah, yeah, I liked it. And the only thing that I would just say is, so he was an undercover agent and everything,
Hmm.
and he was there. So Gemma Chan's character, and this is going to be a bit of a spoiler, is revealed to be connected to the creator of the whole AI
Yeah,
sort of a thing. So she was working, and I just wanted to ask you this question: Why? So they're supposed to love each other, right? Why
yeah.
didn't she tell him?
Top secret, man. No one can know. Nobody has to
But then
know.
that means then, like, because he loved her, all
Yeah,
he wanted was be with her, and that's why he goes back to kind of, to New Asia, because he just wants to be with her. And then in my head I was thinking, man, this guy loved you and you couldn't tell your husband
No,
that
yeah, yeah,
you're
yeah,
working on AI.
yeah. I think it's one of those ones that it's so top secret you can't even tell yourself. So I think that's what my interpretation of why she didn't do it. But I get your point. Yeah, it kind of seemed a bit like she could have just told him, but it's a good thing she didn't, because my man,
Yeah, because
you know what I
exactly,
mean?
trust
Because
me,
she was
yeah.
right.
But
And like the
it's,
little
what,
child
it's
as
a,
well. The child in the
the
film
little
was
kid,
wicked,
wicked,
gangster child, great
wicked.
actress, and just
Yeah.
some of the questions that the child is powerful, but at the same time
Mm.
learning, watching TV, cartoons, and all that, and just coming to find themselves in a world that is, very, very much in tatters. But
Mm.
this child is powerful, and the child begins to gain power and understanding as the film goes on, and the relationship between John David Washington and the child,
Yeah.
and it kind of grows. There's a moment where I think they kind of get real close, real quickly out of nowhere. But that
Yeah.
aside, just
Yeah.
that aside, that's, and the child is very innocent. There's a quote from the film. I just want to quickly say, I know this is going on a bit too long, but
Yes,
there's a
do it.
quote from the film. It's so powerful. Somebody asked, but while they're hiding and stuff, John David Washington takes them to one of his friends'
Mm.
houses, and then someone in the house asked the child, "Oh, what do you want, sweetie?" And the child, I mean, obviously the person's thinking of food or drink or
Yeah.
whatever, and the child answers, "For robots to be free." Like,
Mm.
that's the base. That's the most important thing that the child wants, and the child says it like when people ask you, "Oh, what do you want?" You say something that is usually not as important. This is
No.
what the child wants, and they say it,
Yeah.
and then the lady says, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't have that in the fridge. How about ice cream?" And the child's like,
Yeah.
"Okay." It's like,
Yeah.
it's
Absolutely. It
just.
was a great line. It was
So a
really, really
powerful
quite.
film. When you really sit, the film special effects, it's Hollywood or whatever. But when you sit down and look at the messaging in the film, it's a big message. It's a big
Massive.
message. Yeah. So
Massive. Yeah, really, really good. And
decent.
then what I loved, the way it ends as well, there's a final shot of
Mm,
just the boy, just of the girl
mm,
and the kid.
yeah.
And there's tears, and then it
Mm,
goes smiles, and then you know what? It just ends, and I was like,
mm,
wicked. Like, just kind of in hope, this
yeah.
message of hope. So we'll have to wait and see, mate, over the next 20, 30
Mm,
years, where does AI take us?
mm,
Just on that, have you heard of this company called Boston Dynamics?
no. No.
The robot dogs.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Oh damn. Yes, yeah. I've seen video of it. Yeah, yeah.
Man, I'm telling you, that is going to be the future. Where so what they
Mm,
do is they're working on that. They're working on
mm.
those dogs, and
Black Mirror.
oh mate, listen, who knows what they've already got?
Mm,
Who knows
mm,
what the US Army's
exactly.
already got?
Yeah.
So listen, watch it. I think it's a really great movie, and it needs to be watched on the big screen because it is just that
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
type of big
Yeah.
scope and everything. Go check it out. So that is the end of the show for this week, folks. We really, really hoped you liked it. Next week, we've got new movies. We've got obviously The Exorcist coming out.
Yeah.
So we will definitely be watching that one. And also, Deval, if you've got time, watch this Netflix movie called Accused, which I
Accused.
saw.
Okay. Oh yeah, you
Yeah,
said. Mm.
yeah. So try and watch that. It's kind of like this home invasion movie, which is pretty decent. So hopefully we can speak about that on next week's show. But yeah, keep a lot with us, and we'll see you on the next one.